I wrote a tweet that said the act of making and uploading is the whole point, not the result. Creation changes you over time. I'm chasing that transformation. And I wanted to talk about that, because what transformation? How does creation change somebody fundamentally? I know there's some sort of spiritual correlation when you open up that creative nature within yourself. I don't know that, but yeah, you know what? Let's ground this from my subjective experience. Is creation changing how I feel, or changing something subjectively? It's worth mentioning that across every single video that I've uploaded on this channel, I've been following the flow. So I can potentially reason that a subtle change is happening the more I open myself up towards wherever the inspiration comes from. Like, think about it like this. If there's a gate in consciousness where inspiration flows from, ideas come from, and I'm constantly using that gate over and over again, then in theory the gate should widen, where the ideas should flow more easily over time. Something along those lines. Is that related to spirituality? I'm not sure. But then the question comes to me, where do ideas come from? Is it related to something like superconsciousness? I did ask Claude where creativity originates from, and it answered something like, it's as mysterious as existence itself. Now theoretically, the ability to create, to ideate, does have survival value, right? The person who can leverage ideas to increase the survival odds of the tribe, that's an advantageous trait to evolve into. But still, how original ideas emerge is a complete mystery. Where they come from, how the subconscious is involved. And what's really interesting about my channel is that I'm following that flow itself. So if in theory reality is synchronous, if there is an underlying intelligence in the universe related to the concept of synchronicity, if there is some sort of God force precisely controlling everything, then each idea that comes out of my head is timed. Each person it hits is precise. That's what I think makes this channel such an interesting experiment, is because, consider that one video I made. It was called, I had a strange urge to do a 2-box challenge. That's literally what it was. It was an urge to do a 2-box challenge. And it got 400 views. It's one of the most viewed videos on my channel so far. Does that mean anything? I'm not sure. But personally, just to ground it in what I actually see, the correlation between following the natural whims of the creative act and seeing it have a measurable impact on the world in the way it did through synchronicity is something I'm really interested in. This entire channel is pretty much guided through synchronicity. I've been noticing over every single video I make, over these last 150 videos, different changes to my own creative process, different evolutions. And although it hasn't materialized into anything yet, if it does materialize into something, then it'll be through forces completely beyond my control. And what does that mean? Is it just straight coincidence? Could it be something else? Does any of that relate to the spirit at all? Does the fact that my intent is spiritual mean anything? Does intent impact reality? That I know is true. When I was on Twitter back in 2024, 2025, my intent was to lead the industry from the very beginning. And it was through that intent that people felt it and oriented themselves around the energy that I brought. It's the same as having a vision and reality orienting itself around the vision. There's a very fascinating term associated with Steve Jobs. It's called reality distortion field. It says here it's his legendary ability to convince himself and others through charisma, intense passion, marketing, and bravado that seemingly impossible tasks were possible. In other words, he would set a direction using his intent, no matter how impossible it may seem, and then he would pull reality towards that vision, and everyone else would help make that reality true, because that intent was so strong that they believed it. All this to say that we do have examples where consciousness is able to influence reality already. Whether or not that correlates to the creative act, spiritual developments, and whatever this channel is, I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud. Not to discount the creative act as not being related to spirituality at all, because we've seen plenty of times in history artists attributing much of their work to some spiritual nature to existence. In fact, there's this book called The Creative Act, literally, which I recommend you guys check out if you can. It's basically a book where every chapter is just a page or two discussing creativity, and it does a good job of treading the line, but you can feel that it wants to lean into spirituality without fully committing to the concept, because it's untestable and unproven. But it's a very inspirational book, definitely worth checking out. Alright, well that's it for this video. If you got this far, do me a favor and leave a comment, because clearly you must be interested in these concepts, and if you are, I want to hear what you have to say about them. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one.